Welcome to Wallace on Wire today. We're talking about Rafizi Ramli's sharp criticism regarding a political group's alleged plan to meet Donald Trump during his upcoming visit.
Yeah, it's really heated things up, hasn't it? This whole situation with the U.S. President Donald Trump planning to attend the 2025 ASEAN summit. It's happening right here in Kuala Lumpur this month.
Happening soon.
Exactly. And, well, a visit like this, it's always going to stir the pot politically, geopolitically, but domestically. It's really created some serious friction almost immediately.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the ink was barely dry on the confirmation, and you already had these strong calls, really loud calls, for the government to just revoke the invitation.
Right.
And it wasn't just, background noise. We're talking prominent figures, even a former prime minister, really pushing hard for canceling the whole thing.
And what's so interesting here, I think, is how it's not just a simple split, like for and against. This one visit seems to have fractured opinions into, well, at least three really distinct camps.
Yeah, three different angles on it.
Clashing approaches, really, to how Malaysia should handle this, both in terms of foreign policy and domestic politics, too.
Okay, so let's try and break those down for you. We've got what looks like a pretty cynical view. Then there's the government's sort of strategic, diplomatic defense. And finally, that really outright confrontational rejection of the visit.
We need to unpack what's really driving each of these.
Right.
Let's maybe start with the most dramatic one, the confrontational approach. That's being pushed hard by the opposition, particularly Party Islam's Malaysia.
Okay, Party Islam's Malaysia. So what's their actual plan? Their Secretary General, Taqiyuddin, he came out and said quite clearly, if Trump comes for the ASEAN summit, they will try and arrange a meeting, an official meeting with him.
Which is, I mean, quite a statement, isn't it? Trying to insert themselves directly into a major international summit like that.
A bold move.
Very. And the reason they gave for this meeting, it wasn't about, trade deals or regional security. No. The single stated purpose was to protest, to express dissatisfaction directly to Trump about Israel's action. And on top of trying to get this meeting, they also announced plans for a large-scale public rally, a demonstration timed to coincide with Trump's visit.
Hold on. So they want to schedule a meeting, which sounds, frankly, almost impossible logistically during an ASEAN summit.
Highly improbable, yes.
And at the same time, organize a huge protest outside. That doesn't immediately sound like a coherent strategy, does it? It sounds more like political messaging aimed at their base here at home.
Well, that perception, that disconnect you just pointed out between the, let's say, grand statement and the diplomatic reality, that leads us straight into the second viewpoint, the cynical one.
Okay, and that brings us to Rafizi Ramli.
Exactly, delivered with his characteristic bluntness.
Yes. Rafizi Ramli, former economy minister, MP for Pandan from Parti Keadilan Rakyat, part of the ruling coalition. He just tore into it, didn't he? He called the whole plan absurd. Just nonsense.
Complete dismissal. His argument was basically that it's a cheap political stunt. Just trying to score points with their own supporters, grab some headlines domestically, not about achieving anything tangible on the world stage.
He really focused on the practicality or lack thereof.
Precisely. That's the key to his critique. He questioned the feasibility, asking, is there any realistic chance Trump, surrounded by regional leaders at ASEAN, would actually sideline everything to meet Taqiyuddin? He implied the answer is a clear no.
It's like he's saying they're using this major international event just for show. And he didn't mince words, did he? He even mocked it, suggesting the U.S. Embassy staff would just find it laughable.
Yeah, imagine the diplomats getting that request.
Yeah.
Schedule an impromptu protest meeting during the summit.
Right.
That's really the heart of Rafizi's message.
Yeah.
He essentially said some politicians just talk for the sake of talking, making statements that are, well, totally illogical when you look at how diplomacy actually works.
That killer question you posed. Trump wants to meet Taqiyuddin. That makes no sense. It's more than disagreement. It feels like a deliberate move to paint the opposition as maybe naive or out of touch with international realities.
It's a political calculation, definitely. Trying to undermine their credibility, perhaps, by framing them as not serious players.
So Rafizi is basically warning people, maybe warning you listening, to be skeptical when politicians seem to use big global issues mainly for local political game.
But okay, while Rafizi was attacking the way Party Islam Malaysia planned to protest, other big names were attacking the invitation itself.
So this is the third perspective, the outright rejection.
Yes, the idea that even engaging with Trump, given the circumstances, is wrong from the start.
Who's leading that charge?
Well, you have former Prime Minister Tun, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. He was very direct, called on the government publicly to withdraw the invitation, period.
So for Mahathir, it's a matter for principle. Don't give certain leaders the platform or legitimacy that comes with a high-level visit.
That seems to be the core argument. But then you had Tan Sri Hadi, the chairman of Party Islam Malaysia, taking the rhetoric much further.
Much stronger language, I remember.
Oh, yes. He went so far as to call Trump the devil bewitching the world. Very strong framing.
Extremely strong. It moves beyond policy critique into, well, moral condemnation.
Absolutely. Hadi made it clear that the government inviting Trump, maybe for reasons like, making friends, as he put it, was just unacceptable, especially considering the context, like the situation in Gaza.
So using that kind of language, Hadi's clearly aiming to energize his base, right? Framing it as a moral imperative, not just a political choice. Compromise isn't an option in this view.
Exactly. For that segment, any engagement looks like weakness or betrayal.
Okay, so that's the hardline rejection. Now, how does the current government, how does Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim respond to all this? This brings us to the diplomatic view, doesn't it?
It does. Anwar's defense is fundamentally different. His position is that canceling the invitation would actually be counterproductive, a missed opportunity.
How so?
He argues that the government needs to use the platform it has hosting the ASEAN summit to actively push Malaysia's position, specifically on the Palestinian cause, to advocate aggressively.
So while critics see the invitation as a problem, maybe an endorsement, Anwar sees it as leverage, a necessary tool.
That's the essence of it. His argument seems to be, if you want your voice heard, especially by a major world power, you can't just isolate yourself. Refusing to engage means you have zero influence. You need to be in the room. You have to sit at the table.
It's that age-old diplomatic balancing act, isn't it?
It really is. Do you stand on perceived moral high ground by refusing contact, which might please people at home but achieves little internationally? Or do you engage, even if it's politically difficult, to try and exert some influence directly?
And Anwar's choice to defend the invitation suggests he's chosen the path of engagement, even knowing it would cause this kind of domestic backlash.
It signals a clear strategic direction. Influence comes through engagement, not isolation.
Plus, there's the whole ASEAN hosting aspect too, right? As the host, Malaysia has obligations. Just canceling on a major dialogue partner like the U.S. president, that would send shockwaves through ASEAN.
Absolutely. It could really damage Malaysia's standing as a reliable host and a key player in regional diplomacy. That geopolitical cost has to be part of the calculation, too.
So you've laid out these really different viewpoints. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, which path actually serves Malaysia's interests best right now? It's complex.
It's incredibly complex. If we try to synthesize this, what this whole controversy really highlights is how a single global event can trigger such varied and intense reactions locally.
Yeah.
You have the official diplomatic strategy focused on using platforms, you have a hardline stance demanding non-engagement, and then you have internal political critique questioning the motives behind some of those stances.
Everyone's trying to define the correct response to the current global situation, it seems, and Trump's visit is just the trigger point, the flashpoint for that debate.
That's a good way to put it. The visit itself becomes the arena for these competing ideas about Malaysia's role and strategy.
Which leaves a big question for you, the listener, doesn't it? In today's political environment, what's actually more effective? Is it the bold, maybe populist rhetoric that excites supporters at home, the kind Rafizi criticized? Or is it the quieter, perhaps less satisfying, but maybe more pragmatic diplomacy that Anwar is defending? Which one actually achieves tangible results on the world stage?
That tension between what plays well domestically and what works diplomatically, that's really at the heart of this whole discussion.
Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.